He insisted and he persisted. The John McCormack story. November 8, 1949.
As you are undoubtedly aware, there are many applicants for this position, but only a very few can be chosen. It is my responsibility to the Postmaster General to select the best men available who have outstanding records in the Postal Service. In considering your case, I find that there are many men who possess qualifications superior to yours. For that reason, you have not been selected to participate in the final civil service examination. Frankly, there is very little chance of your becoming a post office inspector. Sincerely, C.C. Garner, Chief Inspector, Washington, D.C.
Now, for most people, receiving a rejection letter like this would be a clear indication that another career choice might be in order. But John McCormack was not one of those people. But let's go back to the beginning of the John McCormack story. John was born in Scotland on October 22, 1916.
When I was 10 years old, when I came to this country, well, they came to Yonkers.
Like most young men, John had an interest in sports, but it wasn't traditional American sports like football or baseball.
I was a player, soccer player, when only foreigners played soccer.
Although John grew up during the Great Depression, he was fortunate. His father had a job, a skilled job at Smith Carpet Company.
My father got a job while he worked during the Depression, yeah. We always had enough to eat.
But John wanted to contribute. He looked for work.
After looking every day for months, I finally got a job. It was really rough.
My father worked from the time he was 9 years old in some kind of jobs, whatever, to bring money back to the house. He always provided, gave money to his mother. He bought her a washing machine. He appreciated the hard work and the work ethic that would move you forward.
Even though he had a job during such a tough time, John always was looking to better himself.
By my standards, a good job, probably $15 a week.
And then in 1936, he competed for a job in the post office. Competition was very tough.
I finished second in the exam.
So on November 1st, 1936, John McCormack embarked on his long postal career. But it was interrupted when World War II broke out, and John was inducted into the Army in May of 1942. But before he was deployed, he had one more mission, and that was marrying his wife, Genevieve, in September of 1942. It was a union that lasted 60 years. Then it was off to war.
I was in the service. I had a good time in the service. In 1942, I was there, 42, 43, 44, and 45. I was in Hickam, and then I went from Hickam to Guam.
After the war, he was discharged with the rank of sergeant, and it was back to the post office. In 1949, he wrote to the Chief Inspector, "It is my earnest ambition to become a post office inspector."
Well, I wanted to improve my lot in life.
Undeterred by the chief's negative response, John enlisted the help of several inspectors he had been working with in Yonkers.
No, I kept after. See, I thought I was too small.
And in 1951, John was offered an appointment as a post office inspector with a starting salary of $4,670. Confident in his ability, John smoothly moved into his inspector job.
After they saw me in action, they liked me, and I had no trouble doing the job.
And the chief realized that.
You have displayed a good theoretical knowledge and have been cooperative at all times. If you continue to apply yourself in the same diligent and energetic manner, I feel sure you will develop into a valuable asset to this service.
Well, it was an easy transition for me. I think I spent 2 months under tutelage, and then the rest of the time I was on my own.
After that short on-the-job training session, the inspection service felt he was ready to handle the job on his own, and they sent him to a place where he was really on his own, Plattsburgh, New York, a one-man domicile. John's daughter Eileen talks about that first assignment.
The North Country was very, very cold, and my father would be gone 2 or 3 weeks at a time, and we were stuck snowbound.
After a short time, the McCormacks were transferred.
Then I got a transfer to Newburgh. It was one man at that time. Then it became a two-man office. Well, Dick Hennessy was there.
John McCormack spent the rest of his career as a postal inspector in Newburgh, New York.
And then we found a home in the town of Newburgh, and we lived there since 1957, and we sold the home September 14th of 2017.
To the postal employees, and particularly to the postmasters in the mid-Hudson Valley, Inspector John McCormack was a legend.
I have good memories of the postal. I love being there with the people.
After all these years, John still kept in touch with the postmaster of Newburgh.
I'm in Slavind. I still see it, still correspond with him.
He was always ready to do whatever it took to help the Postal Service.
My father didn't have a 4-year degree, but he had a lot of common sense, and he had a great intuition for reading people. So he used those innate abilities in his postal inspection work, and he found that really fascinating.
You had to do your job, and you had to be responsible for it. I just liked my job.
Besides working with postmasters, John did have a favorite type of investigation.
Theft from the mails. I just enjoyed my work, no matter what I was doing.
Enjoying his job was not the only passion he had.
I was a golfer too. I was a pretty good golfer. Most of my balls were on the fairways. I think when I was 95, I was still walking the course.
And there was his musical talent.
Well, I played the violin. My father taught me. My father was a good violinist. I played with a group. We played once a week for years. Traditional music. I played popular songs and current songs and old songs.
Up until 6 months ago, he was going to nursing homes and playing his fiddle and trying to make give other people enjoyment.
In 1975, John retired, and for the next 42 years,
I didn't do anything.
But he left some advice for postal inspectors. Whether you're new on the job or a seasoned executive,
do your best, just to do your best.
And he left 2 thoughts to live by for his daughters, Andrea and Eileen, and for the rest of us.
He'd say, leave the world a better place. If you're not having a good time, it's your own fault.
In October of 2017, retired Inspector John McCormack reached an incredible milestone. He celebrated his 101st birthday. Family and friends and NARPE joined the celebration. Retired Inspector John McCormack passed away a month after turning 101.
He insisted and he persisted.